completely different that we spoke about earlier was the Arc. You've not actually been to the new Longchamp, have you?
I haven't been to the new Longchamp yet. I'm longing to go because it's been sort of the subject of significant division of opinion architecturally. I quite like the look of it.
It's mustard, isn't it?
It might be mustard in colour. Whether it's mustard in is for everybody else to decide who's been there. I like the look of it. It's sort of new neo-brutalist or whatever you call it. And I'm longing to go. Obviously, they've had some teething problems, but the reaction to it reminded me a bit of Ascot when they first redid Ascot.
Yeah, totally.
2005-06, redid Ascot, staged the first royal meeting. Everyone was up in arms, said it was an absolute disaster. The grandstand was this, that, and the other. They'd lost the charm of the place. You ask anyone now, and almost everyone from around the world will say Ascot is the finest horse racing facility in the world.
Completely.
And it's hard to argue with that. So they were ahead of their time, really. And hopefully new Longchamp will bed in, and hopefully they can do something about the somewhat flagging popularity of racing in France, which is a bit of an issue at the moment.
Yeah, it's a shame because they do put on, I mean, obviously it had its teething problems, but they did put on a really good show and we all had a great day.
There you are. You
and
see, you're
positive.
Perfectly
and
placed
then
to speak
see
about
Enable
it.
win as well, and hopefully she'll go for the hat-trick this year. Do you think she can do it?
Well, that will be great, won't it? Because I think what they're banking on is the fact that she managed to win a second Arc and win a Breeders' Cup Turf in spite of an interrupted preparation for both and not being at her best in either race.
What was it, one run before?
Yeah, and then was sick between Kempton and the Arc. So presumably John Gosden's thinking, hang on a minute, if I can.
It was brave to go to Kentucky, to go to America.
It
really.
was. I suppose they might have thought it was a swan song, but now she's done it and she's sound. If they can get her back on an even keel, then maybe, who knows, she could be a better mare next year. And if she's a better mare next year and see if Class makes a step forward, it's going to be a fantastic rematch.
Yeah.
This is racing, so you know that these things rarely come to fruition. But were it to, I think you'd see that flurry of people from this side of the channel heading over to Longchamp in their droves. I hope so. I can't wait, to be honest.
I mean, Sia Class literally just missed out.
She was unlucky.
Was heartbreaking.
She was really, really unlucky, and she should have won the race.
Yeah, totally.
But of course, next year she won't get the allowance. They'll have to race off level weights, and this year she was getting weight off Enable.
But
So
then,
that
Enable, she could become a better horse.
She could improve. So you're saying, well, Enable could go that far forward again. Sea of Class could go that far forward, and Enable doesn't have to give the weight, so she goes forward a bit. So
it could be another head-to-head.
Enable could get back to her best. Then again, she gets. So there's all sorts of possibilities. It's intriguing.
Probably big outsider come and beat them both.
And then there's the draw. And yeah, exactly. Or this year's 3-year-old filly will come and beat them both.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's been great. And now, could you narrow down a favourite racetrack? You obviously mentioned that you love Ascot.
I mean, Santa Anita has very special memories for me. I love it there. I always get well looked after there. I've enjoyed all my experiences there at the Breeders' Cup and doing the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. So that's pretty high on the list. In England, I love Ascot I think it's a great facility. I think the Royal Meeting has now become a wonderful international brand, the way that it wasn't, say, 10 or 15 years ago. It is just incredible in terms of the way that it is able to put top-class British racing on the global stage or showcase it to a global audience. And I'm lucky enough to be a tiny part of that as part of the NBC coverage. So it's a very special. I was born in Ascot. I went to school there. I bore people with that all the time. So I'm very fond of the place. As far as other racecourses in England are concerned, I've always loved Goodwood. Who wouldn't?
Yeah.
I know you're keen to ride in the charity race there.
Fingers crossed.
The Magnolia Cup. I think Sammy Hills would be, by the way, an excellent addition to the Magnolia Cup. And York, I love working at York. You always get, as I say, extremely well looked after. And it's a great place to work and great place to be.
It's very well set out, York, as well.
Brilliantly laid out, incredibly atmospheric. You can be there, 7-race card in the middle of the summer on a big Saturday, and that crowd will be giving it everything to the last.
Yeah.
They will give it some to the very, very end, and they're incredibly committed. And I love the place. I love the racing there, and I think they've worked really hard over the years to bolster the race program. The minimum values at the E-Ball meeting are incredible now. The prize money's really good. They're always thinking. They're always trying something new, trying something different, and it makes a big difference.
So you couldn't just pick one though.
I wouldn't. No, I could. I could pick any of the ones I've mentioned and be quite happily stand by it.
Yeah.
Really, there's some places you just walk into and feel good about it, and I think I think I feel happy every time I walk into York. I feel happy every time I walk into Goodwood. You see what I mean? They probably have the most sort of...
The most memories.
The most...
There's that buzz you get when you walk into a big meeting as well.
Yeah, they probably have, I don't know, for whatever reason, have some sort of feel-good factor for me. But you'd be hard-pressed to argue that Ascot isn't the sort of standout facility.
No, I totally agree. Nick, you've been brilliant. Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know if I've been brilliant, but thank you for asking me.